Hello, my friends, and welcome back to RC Rugged Roach. I appreciate you tuning in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell if you would like to see more content from me. So today we're going to take a look at how we are going to put a new body on this Axial SCX6. I like this body a lot, don't get me wrong, but I want a show body and a trail body. So I was very blessed, Santa really likes me, I guess, because I got a Pro-Line Chevy K10 clear body to paint in the color of my choice. From what I understand, these have been discontinued, so I feel very blessed and fortunate to get one. Now, we are going to have to trim this body out. There's a lot of plastic down here in the wheel wells, etc. So we will probably have to use a utility knife on certain areas of this because this is a very heavy-duty, quality polycarbonate body. Very, very happy to have one. So to do the trimming, we are going to be using some heavy-duty curved scissors made for trimming those bodies. I do have a straight set in my toolbox, so that'll come in. I also have utility knives, X-Acto knives, etc. Now, to paint, what are we going to use to paint? After we mask off the areas that we want to mask off, including those windows. I don't want to paint over those. That would be a big no-no for me. But we're going to be using the Pro-Line Gunmetal. I'm going with Gunmetal. I also have some Pro-Line window tint and some flat black, which is going to go in the bed of the truck. So I'll have to get that bed masked off. I know typically you want to put your darker colors first, but I want that black to back the gunmetal as well. So I'm okay with doing that black last. Also, we're going to mount that with the Pro-Line extended body post set. There is a regular set, but I believe it keeps the post up near the windshield. I wanted this to be posted out near the edge of the hood there. To me, it's just a better mounting system. I've done my research, looked at the reviews, and people are excited about this extended version here. So if you would, stick around. We're going to start the process. Again, we're going to get this body trimmed. We're going to get it washed out, get those greases out of there using a microfiber towel to dry it out, and maybe a hair dryer. We'll see how much drying we need to do. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Like, subscribe, and let's roll. All right, so here we are with this beautiful Pro-Line Chevy K10 body for the Axial SCX on the work table. We're going to start trimming this out first. We'll do all the washing, masking, and painting after that. I do have all of my tools here ready to go. We have the curved body scissors for polycarbonate bodies, another curve. These are supposed to be a little more heavy duty. We'll see about that. Straight scissors, utility knife, and two different sizes of X-Acto knife blades. I have a number 11 and a number 2. Now, if you're over 18, you're good to go. If you're under 18, I must recommend that you have an adult assist you, especially with using sharp instruments like this. You're probably okay with these if they will sufficiently cut this body. We're going to find out. I haven't had one this big and thick. If you're going to use a utility knife or X-Acto blade and you're under 18, please get an adult to supervise, or even better, to help you do this body. I believe I'm going to begin by cutting some of this excess off here. I can make a line straight down the middle, trim some of this out, because at first it's not going to have to be exact. You want to get rid of some of this extra plastic out of your way, down through here in the wheel well. So I'll make some cuts here with my utility knife and then begin to fine trim that out. And then if I need to, I can take a Dremel and lightly buff those edges, because there'll probably be some jagged or sharp edges, and I want that to be smooth. And so we're going to probably use a Dremel tool to that. All right, so just my method of doing it. As you see, there's a piece missing here. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my big utility knife and I'm just scoring it. Okay, it's not going all the way through, as you can see here. And then I'm just snapping it slowly, like that, to get these pieces off of there. It is a little noisy. This is going to be time consuming, but it's a good way to remove this extra plastic until you get to the fine areas around here, which is where I want to use those scissors. But right now there's just too much plastic in the way. So again, use your X-Acto knife, utility knife, to clear some of this extra thick Lexan or polycarbonate body out of your way, and then you can do your fine tuning. All right, so I use that technique that I was talking about, where I would kind of trim around this a little bit with my blade and then cut some right down the middle of that wheel well and just snap pieces out. I really like a blade. It gives a much more clean cut. You can see some little jagged areas. That's where I kind of trimmed a little with the scissors, but most of this is just making a straight line across and snapping it off. You will see some cleanup points, such as right here. Need to clean that up. you know, this back here is going to be smoothed out with a Dremel. And then I want to caution you, when you are breaking that off, make sure you support areas that you do not want stressed. You can see a slight stress point on this plastic right here at the very bottom. See that, how it's kind of filled in, looks a little more whitish. I didn't support that well when I was snapping that off, and it kind of didn't want to break away right there, and it stressed that. So make sure you fully support any areas that you're going to be snapping. You know, put your thumb in there, whatever you got to do to brace that to keep it from getting a stress point. Hopefully that won't show up too much once we get this beautiful body painted up. All right, so again, I prefer to use like a soft microfiber type towel instead of paper towels, because paper towels will leave lint. Now, this is a clean thing, but I still like to shake out any possible dust or lint. I did just get this off the shelf. We're going to dry this up real good. Then we're going to mask it off. As you saw in there, I washed it out with some dish detergent that fights grease. That's just to make sure that my oily fingerprints that had got on the inside while trimming this thing, we don't want those to show up in the paint. So we want to eliminate all that grease and get the cleanest paint job we can get. So again, just use, you know, I guess you can use whatever dish detergent you like, but I like to use something that is definitely states that it combats grease. That way my greasy fingers, natural body oils will not be mixed in with the paint, and I'll get a better stick, a better lay from the paint, everything. So as you can see, I'm carefully putting my hand on the outside of this, using my body with this shirt that's not going to leave any oil on the inside. Using that to brace the truck if I need to. There is some water on the outside still. I just briefly wiped it off when I brought it in here from the tub. Normally I would do this in the kitchen sink, but as you know, this is a huge body, so I just use the shower head. Guys, if you are married, in a relationship, a woman in the house, make sure you fix your shower before you leave the bathroom. She's not going to be too happy if she turns that shower head on and it sprays all crazy and all that good stuff. So anyway, just be careful with that as well. All right, so we're going to finish drying this out. I may take a hair dryer just to give it a final dry, and then we're going to take it outside and get to painting. Let's roll, guys. All right, here we are. We've got it all taped off. I've got the bed taped off, masked off, however you want to call it. The window's done. Yeah, I got a little crease in there. I'm going to have to make sure I smooth that out to make sure no paint gets under that. But overall, I got it done. I'm not going to act like it was real easy. I mean, it's got a lot of bigger space than your smaller trucks, but trying to do it up to the ledge here, I didn't get it perfectly. You can see a little bit there and there. Hopefully, once all the paint's on there, though, it won't make a huge difference. The back is, you know, fairly straight. I taped and retaped and pulled it up, trying to get those edges right, but it's very difficult to do. Anyway, we're hoping this turns out the way we want it to. Next step is paint. All right, guys, so here we are outside. We got a little bit of wind going on, but got the camera away from the wind. It's blowing from behind the camera here. And we're going to just start off by giving this a very light coat. Again, you don't want to go heavy. Your paint will run. So we're going to go very light with this. We're going to try out this new trigger thing I got. May like it, or may not. Basically, the way I look at it is this first coat, we just want to give the next coats something to stick to adhere to. So push it to the limit, no quit, never quit, full send. And just like that, we're going to let that first layer dry. And guys, we're just going to repeat this process, just a thin coat on top of thin coat on top of thin coat until she's painted. And then we'll go back, we'll take all that tape off, and we'll do the black as a backer on that plus the bed. All right, my friends, let's talk about this body a little bit and what I experienced. I left you off last with painting this body in layers. Now, I'm going to be honest, I had a few mess ups, particularly back here around the bed area. You know, when you have it upside down and you're painting down between the wall and the bed itself, it could get a little tricky. My nozzle did mess up a little bit on the gunmetal. And I had some little bit of running. So I'm going to tell on myself here. You can see patches here. Okay, this is not typical of my work, but you know, it's a learning experience. As with the window tint, I kept layering it, thinking, why is this not darkening up? I could see spray spots, etc. That's the Pro-Line window tint. And it came out extremely dark. I really didn't want the front that dark, but when you're painting from the inside, if you do it like when you're painting your regular body paint, you want it to look smooth, etc. And it kept looking a little bit splotchy. What I should have done is sprayed a few layers, stopped, and set it on top of the actual chassis to see how dark that was. But I was just down in the garage without my chassis down there with me, and I just kept spraying and spraying. I got it too dark. But hey, learning experience. That is the first time I've ever used any type of window spray tint at all. So, you know, it doesn't look bad. I wish the front windshield wasn't so dark. But overall, I'm starting to like the look. Now, this is not complete, guys. I want to change those wheels to some black wheels. It's going to take time to upgrade this thing, you know, a little at a time. I do have some Trill high clearance links that we're going to put underneath. I did print. You may hear my 3D printer in the background. I apologize for that. I'm printing a high clearance bumper for the front. For my honcho body, I'm printing a new grill that says Toyota. All that kind of stuff. It's going to be exciting. I'm hoping to keep some videos. But let me talk a little bit about how I fix my mistakes. Okay, obviously, I used a vinyl cutter machine there and printed out my logo to try to help cover some of that. The other side is a little worse, not going to lie. Now, up here where I got some runs, I had already painted this bed black. Okay, the shine's actually coming from the body itself, the polycarbonate body, because the paint I used was a flat black. Now, up here on top, in this running around through here, it also had some runs. So I thought, hey, some of the newer bodies have, you know, the bed protector that comes up over the edge, and then also they have two-tone coloring on the back. That's vinyl. Around the edges is vinyl, and my racing stripes is vinyl. That is not painted underneath. That is actually vinyl on the top that I cut myself to fit. I need to polish this body up a little bit. It's got fingerprints on the vinyl and the body itself. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys to give you a sneak peek of what's to come. Again, we're going to do some Trill high clearance links. Also, this body is not actually mounted yet. It's just sitting on there. I'm going to try to 3D print some magnetic mounts for it. I have the magnets. I just need to print out some kind of bolt. Now, it might be a learning experience for me. I'm brand new to a 3D printer. And if I can't find the right size that someone's already designed, or maybe they have and I'll have to stretch it out a little bit or whatever, but I want to use magnets. Obviously, I don't want to put holes in this beautiful body, especially since this body has been discontinued. So come back and see me, guys, on my channel. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know when I post another video with those Trill upgrades as far as the high clearance links, getting this body actually mounted with some magnets. And again, I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope to see you back on my channel.